Professor Wesley, this obviously a huge backward step for Myanmar. How much is this a win for China that they will then obviously be relying on China for greater economic and financial support in the face of Western sanctions?
That all depends on how the rest of the world chooses to react to the coup in Myanmar. And that response is still being formulated, Kieran. Really key here, of course, is the United States, the European Union, but also the rest of Southeast Asia and countries like Japan. At this stage, if they do decide to react in a strong way and to isolate Myanmar, as you say, it will have little choice but to embrace Beijing much more fulsomely. I think that's why you've seen a very slow and considered response on behalf of Australia, on behalf of much of Southeast Asia. Of course, the world is looking to how the Biden administration will react to this. So I think it's a very delicate situation at this stage. I think really the rest of the world is waiting for more information, for more statements from the Myanmar military and for reactions from key capitals around the world.
Okay, now I want to talk about a few other issues while I've got you this afternoon. The China relationship, the Prime Minister's language, talking about a mutually beneficial relationship. If you went back a year or two, that was exactly the sort of language the Chinese leadership, this win-win rhetoric that they use so much. And even Xi Jinping, I think from memory, used that phrase in his speech to this parliament.
Absolutely right, Kieran. And I think the fact that the Prime Minister's comments have been met with crickets tells you exactly how badly the relationship has deteriorated. As I've said to you before, Kieran, I don't think China sees much upside in improving the relationship. I think they realise that they are sending a very clear signal to many other countries by continuing to keep the Australia relationship in the deep freeze. And really, where they've got us at the moment puts all of the initiative in Beijing's court. So my sense is that it's good to see moderate language coming from the Australian government. It's good to see mature language coming from the Australian government. But really, I'm not going to hold my breath waiting for the Chinese to respond positively at this stage.
So it's basically a waiting game on that front. What about on the other big relationship at the moment that we're all watching closely on the international, from our Australian perspective on the international stage, and that is the United States? The Prime Minister's language looks more and more certain that they're going to land on this net zero emissions by 2050, at the same time as the Biden administration is pushing hard for more ambition on that front.
Yeah, look, my sense, Kieran, is that the Prime Minister does want to be able to make some sort of commitment in the lead up to Glasgow in November this year. Of course, he's constrained by people within his own coalition, particularly in the National Party. And in a way, Joe Biden's very strong position on climate change actually strengthens the Prime Minister's hand. Basically, it gives the Prime Minister additional leverage to argue that Australia continuing to hold out here would actually be self-isolating. It would be isolating us from our major ally. It would be isolating us from major trading interests in Europe, and it would be isolating us from key Asian countries as well. So I think the shift in the administration in the United States, the shift in the international climate of opinion that Biden's leadership brings actually strengthens the Prime Minister's ability to come out and make a much clearer statement about net zero emissions.
Professor Michael Wesley from the University of Melbourne, thank you for your analysis as always.